What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to another Kickstarter news update. Today I got some interesting updates to talk about, both the kind of larger industry stuff and then, of course, new and upcoming board games, and a slew of ones that you can currently back right now if there's money burning a hole in your pocket. All the links will be in the description below, but before that, let's go ahead and roll the logo. As always, I'd like to start with a quick shout out and a heartfelt thank you to my YouTube members and patrons. It is through their financial support that this channel is in large part possible, because I remain honest and guilt-free whenever I trash a game, call out a company, give praise to one, or anything like that. You know that that is from my heart and not my wallet, because I don't accept money from any of these companies. I am not reliant on the board game industry and the developers to pay me for their reviews and for my opinions. Instead, they are my own, and that is in large part thanks to them for allowing me to be financially not reliant on them, which is wonderful. There is a link down to my Patreon in the description below if you're interested in helping support, even at just $1. It's wonderful, and I thank you for that. But if not, that's fine too. There's plenty of free ways. You can like the video, you can comment, you can subscribe, you can share. There's a merch link. There's an Amazon link. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, I can get a little bit of a kickback from it. A little tiny bit, but every little bit does help, so thank you so much for that. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so I'm going to start out with Velocity Vanguard. Now, I covered this before, and I noticed that it still has a long way to go. Now, they are asking for $84,100 as a goal, which is quite a bit, especially for a first-time developer. That being said, it looks like they put a lot of effort and money into this, and what I wanted to point out here is that last time when I was here, I took a look at this, and I was like, hey, this is cool and all that, but there's no video. And I actually gave that feedback, and they listened, and they actually added a video. So they got a little kind of video thing going on here, which is super cool. It's fairly basic in that it just kind of shows the main highlight of the game, which is the variability that you can kind of customize your own ship and crew and all that kind of stuff. It shows that, and then it shows that kind of inertia dynamics, where as you move, you're constantly moving and having to shift the direction and kind of steer your ship and all that, which I think is actually pretty darn cool. And that's kind of what they're showing here, and that's really it. And I think that's fine. It's better than nothing for sure. It looks quality actually, which is also kind of nice. It kind of shows you kind of how the gameplay is going to play once you actually are in there doing it. And so either way, the fact that they even listened at all, I think is awesome. So wanted to give them another shout out, because that, and I think their ship design looks sweet, and this is obviously cool too. So down with all of that. Looks nice, I think, anyway. Next, Feed the Kraken. This is another cool group. They are doing quite well. They had only asked for 35, and they're at 112. And the moment you do, even if they actually needed 82 or whatever, they still funded, and they got to show off some gameplay of stretch goals and stuff, which is always cool and whatever. What I wanted to point out here, first of all, again, their GIF is the best GIF ever that I've seen in any Kickstarter. I love it. Love everything about it. It looks like I don't know if they had this before, if I just couldn't remember because I didn't care as much, but it's just nice to see how you actually kind of play in GIF form with that, with like real people playing a real copy of the game. It just makes it seem more real and honest, and I dig that. You kind of see the size of some of the ship and stuff like that. Actually quite large. Their reaction was great. So it's great to see all of this. I like that. I noticed that they had some painted miniatures that, again, I didn't notice before. Maybe they had it, maybe they didn't. Either way, that looks nice. I don't know who painted that. Marco. Well done, Marco. Great use of contrast. I love how those highlights pop. A very deep blue water, which is kind of unique and not typically done. I like that, with some purple in there. That freaking Kraken, though. Oh my gosh, that looks good. Love it. Anyway, yeah, I think this looks like, if I was to ever play a social deduction game, this one would probably be it. Oh, next is Neo-Morphosis Infestation. As you can see, I have pledged for this one. And again, they're doing great. They're at 221,000 with still 13 days to go. Much better than the first time. And in fact, they are definitely really focused on making this work by really pumping up the value of it, which I think is great. So their stretch goals, obviously, they've been doing a whole lot in there. I think they had a nice view of it. Could have sworn they did, but now I can't find it, of course. But yeah, it's just right here. Anyway, so they've been unlocking more and more stuff, which is awesome. The Goliath is super cool. I like, actually, Dr. Sanders might be my favorite, though Robbie's pretty cool too. There's some very interesting kind of, I like Climber, how he's actually on a wall like that. I love when they do kind of custom stuff like that. It's very nice. The custom bases are also great. It'd be nice to see them in the render, but I understand that they're not there, and that's fine. What I will point out, though, is that even in their update, they're giving away free stuff now. They're just doubling down saying, hey, we want this to keep doing well, and so we're going to keep just adding the value and the content for free as it just keeps going. And I think that's awesome. I think that's the right attitude to have for a campaign, that you just give it your all and really try to make it a great value proposition. Sci-fi games inherently have a little bit more trouble funding and doing super well. And then on top of that, there's actually some competition between core space and just some various other things. But I really like the attitude of, here's some more stuff. You definitely want this game. It looks awesome, and here's why. I think that's smart. I've seen other companies, one of the big ones I thought was Hate by Come On. So it kind of actually, I think, started going negative. And what they did is they were unlocking these stretch goals for these tribes, and obviously the stretch goals died down a little bit as they stopped getting fun. So what they did is they just released an entire tribe for free. Just bam, there you go. Everybody gets an extra tribe, and it helped. If you look at K-Track and you map it and stuff, you can see the uptick and the pendulum swing the other way, because suddenly you get an entire extra, however many units and gameplay options and all that stuff, just at the core pledge. And I think that's always a smart way to get people in. So I like seeing that. Next up, Core Space Firstborn. Now, I haven't looked into this as much as I should, but I will. I still have 13 days. Calm down. But honestly, by the time you see me do this next, if I've had a moment of spare time, it's probably because I've backed it, and you'll see that when I actually do. I really like the kind of the style of this. My problem is I don't know if my playing group would, and I wouldn't play it solo. So it's not exactly like a skirmish game or combat focused even. Instead, you're like just trying to loot and get stuff and then explore and then leave. And it's one of those things where I talked to a few people who have already played the previous versions of the game. It's a game where like you always feel like you may have stayed one turn too long because you got a little greedy, and that kind of feeling is so great. It kind of reminds me of something like Small World even, where you have that kind of like, when do I retire this race and get the new one, and what's the right time to do that? How far can I eke this out before doing that? So I optimize that, and I kind of get that sense here as well. And obviously there is combat and stuff. One of the cool things they added, oh man, by the way, look at that freaking rock worm thing. That thing's cool. I dig that. One of the cool things, I mean, they've added all sorts of terrain and more people, and they've been unlocking things via expansions, which is super cool. I like that. They added a freaking Stargate. Yes, please. You literally go through this portal and you come out the other side, and there are new alien species and stuff like that. I think that's super cool. It's a Stargate, is what I'm calling it. So I think that's a great idea. It kind of reminds me of Shadows of Brimstone, who also did that. It allows you to really make all kinds of expansions and just kind of gameplay, content through that, which I think is great. I think that's really cool. Next up, Nova Aetas Renaissance is doing swimmingly. It has 6 days to go. It's at 5,400, 761,000. Definitely doing better than the first version of it. They're saying right here 56 unlocked stretch goals, which is huge. They're definitely kind of going. I still like that they have kind of the high game key elements right up at top. I think that is awesome. It's just, I think, a smart thing to do. Even higher than stretch goals or add-ons or anything like that. It's, here's our game. And I think putting that front and center is such a huge thing. Kind of like how I like the GIF on Feed the Kraken. I like this game key elements table right here. I would love to see this in more Kickstarter campaigns. Right up front, half the time you have to scroll through all the ads, all the like reviews and all the other stuff and all the crap, and then all the way down at the very bottom you're gonna find literally last thing will be like, oh, and here's how our game plays. And it's like, and see, and here's a normal gameplay thing. It's all the way towards the bottom. That's typical, and I get that. They take up a lot of space. I do like that they add a lot of movement. I think this is important for a Kickstarter campaign. If you can get some GIFs going, Even if it's just something like this, it's super helpful. Obviously, showing gameplay elements is really, I see like this, really, really helpful. And then, of course, just like a little paragraph. Like this right here is the best way to describe how this works, is through this GIF. I love it. And I'm fine with that, kind of being down here. I get it, especially with stretch goals and stuff like that. It takes a while and a lot of scroll. But it's okay, because right up top, first thing I'm seeing when I start scrolling on, oh, hey, this looks cool, let me see more. And bam, right there. Game key elements. Love it. I wanted to point out, first of all, they've been unlocking stretch goals like crazy. I think when I left off, we were like here with him, I want to say, not too much farther anyway. So they've added some Temple Guard chicks, which I think are super cool with their horns. I like that. And of course, their curved blades are sweet. Druid guy, which again, I love his kind of polearm here. I like that he's not with like an animal or something like that. I think that's huge. And his base looks really cool, I feel. We got the Jack-O-Lantern, which is super cool. I did notice they even had 5 to 6 player expansion. Look at that. You didn't have to buy it. They just give it to you. Again, super cool. Dark Rituals, kind of a cross-play there, which is super cool. I am a backer of Dark Rituals. I think the theme and gameplay looks super cool there. And so seeing that pop up here, I'm okay with that as well. And then I like how they kind of say what's coming up next. Like there's going to be Adventure and Prey cards, some Scenic Elements and cards, and some miniatures and enemy draft and rewards. I like that you kind of get a tease of the gameplay concept. If LMS could do one thing, it's run a Kickstarter campaign. I really like just kind of the general professionalism. But the highlight of all this is, of course, the wolf pet. As a huge wolf fan, this is highly necessary, definitely important. If this does not get 2,000 fans, I will blame all of you. I'm not a fan. I'm Board Game Geek. I don't go there often enough either, but shoot, I mean, if it's not unlocked in 13 days, you better believe I'm going to be favoriting this or fanning this or fanning. Either way, wolf pet, super cool. Love the wolf pet. And then, of course, they have even more. They have these boogeyman dolls that they unlocked, which look super duper creepy. Don't like them at all. Just cool stuff. I like everything I'm seeing with this. The gameplay looks cool. Price seems great. The stretch goals are insane right now when it comes to that. In my opinion, this is going to be like another Black Rose Wars, where I don't know if you've seen the Seder box that Wave 2's been delivering, but that thing is huge. Like Kingdom Death Monster core box size. It's massive. So this is, I think, going to be huge as well. So looking forward to that. Next up, we have Orbital, from a designer of Terraforming Mars. Definitely not Terraforming Mars, success rate. It's still doing great. They only asked for 666 backers. Somebody drop a pledge or gain one. That you're not in it on. That's not a good sign. That's funny. I've never seen that. It kind of surprising, I guess, because I just thought like Terraforming Mars. That's huge, right? And this just isn't quite that. It looks decent. I like the artwork. I like kind of the concept overall. Not a big Meeple fan, personally. You guys, I'm sure, could guess that, so it doesn't really excite me. This is hilarious, though. This is worth calling out here. So, I had a good laugh with this with my patrons as we figured out. I was like, organic glass? What the freak is organic glass? That sounds like fancy, Like, that sounds like, ooh, did you get your glass organic? Like, how can a glass be organic? This was harvested in a farm somewhere. Grass-fed glass only. Organic glass is just plexiglass. It's just plastic. But instead of saying plastic standees, they said organic glass standees, because it sounds like you could buy it at Whole Foods, I guess. I don't know. That cracks me up. I'm fine with plastic standees. Is a good thing. Like, I think everybody who hears plastic standees are like, that's awesome. Yeah, let's get that. That's the good kind, right? And it's all custom cut. I love that. One of my big things about miniatures or when they're standees, when they're framed like that, they actually cover up more than a miniature would, right? Because they're taking up more space, so they cover more of the board. So I like the kind of custom ones like that. It looks nice. I just think organic glass is hilarious. Just say plastic. Stop saying organic glass. What the heck? Like, I'm trying to think of other like cool like the technical terms you can use that sound really nice but are actually just something mundane. But they're just clear plastic. Sandies, which is fine. It's great. These busts are super cool, by the way. I really like these busts. I don't know the quality that they'll be, but I know they look super cool, so I am down with that. Moving on, Legions of Steel Operation Anvil is currently funding. They're about halfway, and they have 20 days to go, so definitely have some room to continue to expand and get to that 19,095. Which, man, I'd be so... you know what? I would have put 19,000, but you know what? I'll put the $95 just to get it a cool 1,900. But whatever. I don't know where they get with these numbers. Made in Canada. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, go Canada. It looks nice, especially painted like this. Like, I think it looks cool. I like the design of them. These remind me kind of Halo guys, but with like much, longer whatever helmet things those are. Definitely an interesting kind of look to like some of the enemies and stuff like that. But I know this is a game that's been around for a long time, and they're just adding more new stuff to it, which I think is super cool, and still supporting it, which I think is super cool as well. So excited to see this finally up. I know it's kind of been long, and see, this just looks like freaking Halo is what this looks like, which I'm fine with. I don't mind that at all, but. That dude's face is freaking cool. I dig that. Texture on there looks nice. I like that. Thumbs up chick is kind of funny. I can dig that. I do like this texture here. It looks cool. These look well designed miniature wise, by the way. There's some very small details there. I don't know if these are still metal or plastic. I think they're made in plastic now. Anyway. This is new and on there. And again, this game has been around for a long time, so you might have heard of Legions of Steel elsewhere, but they have a brand new Kickstarter out, which is super cool. Next up, Chronicles of Waral, Revolt of Hiddelheim. Man, what a name. So this is actually kind of interesting. So they contacted me, and they're just like, hey, we have successfully funded, and we're doing good. But we noticed we're not getting like as many English speakers as we'd like, and we're trying to figure out what we can do to help that. So I gave them some advice, which I thought was kind of cool. And I was like, I'll show you off. I don't mind helping out and kind of showing people something that has some really freaking sweet art, by the way. So everything here that I read, which I didn't read all of it though, reads well, which is good in English. I liked that. This art is just pretty. I love it. I love the splashes of color that they can do in there, and the kind of, even the different background colors. I just really like how that looks. Oh, this blue, by the way, looks awesome. Is it a purple? Is it a blue? I don't know. It looks great though, with the kind of the silver gray right next to it. So anyway, it looks really, really pretty. Again, not a game that I would necessarily play, but I'm a lot more selective in my gameplay than many of you. I know that for sure. So be sure to check this out. It's their first game, and I think this definitely looks like quality. So I think that's pretty cool too. Now this next one's exciting to me. Upzone, the pop-up wargaming and RPG terrain system. Again, a guy contacted me. He's like, hey, I've been a long time viewer, and I noticed you haven't covered our stuff, so I wanted to point this out here. And I look here, and I'm like, I'm missing out. 3,794 people know about this crap, and I don't. Like, what happened? Why didn't you guys tell me about this? If you see, by the way, so if you're one of those 3,794 and you watch my stuff and you don't see me covering it, let me know about it. I might cover it, I might not, but I can't cover stuff I don't know about. So, like I said, it's hard to kind of get all the info. And of course, as I get it, I try to show you guys. That's why I have these Kickstarter updates. But, anyway, this looks super cool. So what is this? This is essentially foldable pop-up terrain that folds flat and then pops up. It can hold miniatures and stuff like that. They have like a dungeon one, which is kind of cool, where they have all these different parts that you can just quickly set up. So they have like corners and opens and corridors and a dead end and stuff like that. So you can kind of make your own, long corridor and stuff like that. And then of course the floor, you can make your own dungeon through there, which is super cool. I wanted to show you and as you can see, you can put big miniatures on there as well, which is nice. There's some Nemesis miniatures there. I want to show you a video that shows it off fairly well. Here we go. So let's look at this. Alright, so now I have the sound muted. Thanks, Facebook. We'll look at that. So as you can see, it folds up flat and then just kind of pops up like that. It's super cool. Let's see if I can expand it without... Oh, be quiet. Awesome. I think that looks super cool. So again, it's all just so you just get the box, and then it's all laid out flat, and so you can do skirmish games real quick with this. Considering I have now bought some Warhammer stuff, and I'm looking to buy some more, I'm kind of interested in terrain. I got a 3D printer now, but this storage is awesome. That's the key here. I have lived in apartments. I've lived in small houses, especially with a big family, so we didn't have room. Even now, like, I have this office, and that's pretty much it. And so the more room I can save, the better. So seeing kind of really easily stored pop-up terrain like that, I think is super cool, and definitely has a use, especially when you have multiple tier system like that. I think that's great. And again, then it folds flat like that, which is super cool as well. Definitely not for everybody. It's obviously a slightly limiting and exactly how much you can have there. But I do like this. I think that's great to see. That's cool. I dig it. And then, of course, they even have like these optional little pegs you can put in there to really kind of make it super sturdy, which is nice as well. So it looks like they thought of everything. I think it looks cool. So definitely a link down below to that. Moving right along. Now we are in stuff that's coming up, in case you haven't noticed yet, and this is huge. This is Death Goddess Izanami, the Japanese Queen of the Underworld, by Axis Mundi. This is going to be for their Sankokushin. However, this is the resin miniature line that they're launching before that. That being said, you can use this miniature in the game. There's going to be an expansion, and she can be the alternate model for one of the characters in there. I'm assuming Izanami, as my guess. She's going to be 140 millimeters tall. And of course, huge, obviously, too. So let's talk about this a little bit. First of all, again, I mean, it looks very, very well done. They start talking a little bit about her story and stuff like that, which I think is great. And of course, you get like the art print that's signed and all sorts of stuff like that. I just love, again, I love the broken gate behind her, as she's just kind of like, nope, I'm out of here. I think that's awesome, especially head lifted up high, like super full of herself and super like, I'm on a mission. I know exactly what I'm doing here. And I love the range of people. Like, they show different like close-ups. So there's people who are like grabbing at her and really going after her and like very determined. And then there's also the people that are just distraught. And I like the kind of the range of emotion you see on the people. I think that's super cool as well. They're showing, again, some 3D prints that they're having before, and then they'll cast that, and that'll be kind of the master mold for the resin. These are uncleaned, but looking good for sure. Now, this is a kind of interesting, but so the whole line is going to be this Fukashi Sakai run or something like that. Don't know who she is, but she's somebody, and I don't know who she is, but she's somebody. So will we see more, right? Are we going to see more models? That is definitely the question. So I'll be interested to see what they do with these two for sure, and kind of see where they're going from there. But this one is definitely going to be huge. Going to be expensive, I can guarantee it. 140 millimeters of resin is not cheap, especially when it's cast out of this many pieces. It's going to be quite the ordeal, but going to look pretty too, I'm sure. Next up, Signum Workshop. It was delayed. They took a long time to get it approved at Kickstarter. Kickstarter was slow. They've been a lot. November 17th is when it's coming out. So if you've been on the lookout for that, you can do that. Their Patreon, by the way, does have their November stuff. And so they've kind of done it's like a Norse Viking kind of stuff. They have a really cool guy there. I'll go ahead and link to that as well. This kind of ties into some of that, where you're getting some units from each of those, which I think is kind of a neat idea. Okay, now with that, I'm going to complain a little bit with Shadow Tactics. Now, Antler Games gets kind of the crap end of the stick here, and that they're going to be used as an example. I've seen this done other times from other companies, but they're here now doing it, so I'm going to use them. So, sucks to be them, I guess. But if you didn't do it, you wouldn't get yelled at. Okay, so what is going on? Well, they are having a Shadow Tactics, a board game plus solo co-op run an expansion Kickstarter campaign. Why is that interesting? Haven't you seen this game before? Yes, you have. This is the second one of it, but it hasn't been printed yet and delivered yet. Let's discuss. So, if we go to the campaign, I click on it. This was supposed to deliver December 2019. So everybody who backed this game has been out of money for years at this point. Years they've been out of money, whereas Antler Games has had their money and has been running as a company because of them. So, with that in mind, let's look at the update. Late pledge campaign pre-launch page activity. So they're calling this a late pledge campaign. Essentially, they've made a lot of changes during this very long delay where they haven't given anybody anything. It'll be shipping in May 2021, and they are going to be running a campaign here shortly where new people can back the game, get the game, and do the pledge manager stuff and all that, and then still get it on May 2021 as well. So everybody gets their game at the same time. Now, why is this an issue? First of all, I think the late pledge campaign's a bad idea. It just sounds messy, and pledge managers are messy, and getting people to finalize addresses are messy, and just make a campaign and deliver a game. It's not that hard. It's that easy. I understand making games is hard, but not making too many campaigns is easy. You just don't do it. I just don't understand, I guess, the desire to just constantly get more and more and more. If you want to run another campaign, fine, run another campaign, but deliver a game first. Make your game and deliver it to the people who've been out for years. It just seems silly. I just don't, even if it's that date, even if the May 2021 wouldn't change, right? Let's say it wouldn't change. It's going to be made regardless. It's still just super messy. And here's one of the reasons why it's messy. They don't care. Now, Antler Games doesn't care about their original backers. And that's because I believe actions speak louder than words, and the actions show that they weren't thinking about them at all. So, you have people that gave you a company money years ago, and you've been, again, running this company off of their money, and then you don't give them anything different than the people who just came and are going to get a game right afterwards because of these other people. They get the exact same game at the exact same time, no difference. Normally, companies who are thinking about their backers and thinking about, wow, these people, these real people with lives and jobs and opinions and families and loved ones and emotions and, a limited amount of money that they decided to part years ago with me and are still here and didn't ask for a refund and believe in our company and our game. I wonder if they should get something, some kind of benefit or some kind of, enhancement of some kind, or I don't know if it's just a token or what, but it just seems odd to me that you would just forget to even do anything like that. Nothing. They don't get nothing. They don't get it shipped first. They don't get any extra items. They don't get any extra special packaging or nothing like that. Again, there's no difference between somebody who gave you money years ago and somebody who gave you money right now. You get the same product. That's just not how these crowdfunding things need to work. You need to respect your backers a little bit more than that. It's really unfortunate that, and they're going to be looking into it now, but only because people brought it up or hey, so these new people get the same crap that we do, right? Giving you money 2 years in advance and has no benefit compared to anybody. This guy right here, this Florian guy knows what's up. Look at this. And then I have to be honest. Game is okay, yeah, sure, whatever. We're still selling some details. Yeah. After your people who gave you money years ago brought it up, you're like, oh yeah, I guess we could give you something nice. So for anybody that's watching this that isn't Antler Games, learn by Antler Games' mistakes and respect your backers. Just realize, that I guess just realize the consumer side of it, that as a consumer, I have a limited amount of money that I can give. I can't back everything I like. I cover every game I like, I cover. So there's a lot of games I don't back. You can see that. I don't have the money for it. I can't. Now, I also don't have the time and the storage space, and there's a lot of other stuff too, but a lot of it is just money. I can't. Shadow Tactics is a very cool video game. I remember looking at this thinking, oh, that's cool. Couldn't afford it at the time. Maybe I can afford it on the second one and get just as much benefit, and then I wasn't out money for years. And it just respect your backers. Realize what they do for you, and do something for them anytime you can. Okay. Moving on, another mild complaint, though this one is, I guess, a little bit less, but we'll talk about it. The Everrain. Now, I always like to complain about the Everrain anyway. History. I wanted to do a day one details video of the Everrain, and I went there day one, and day one, they didn't have the gameplay information to do it. So back then, I did a details where I wrote a script, and part of it was here's the gameplay details, and here's the campaign details. And I had the campaign details, but the gameplay details, I had 2 bullet points. And I'm looking, I'm like, there's no rule book, there's no gameplay video, there's no nothing. I was like, to this day, I don't know what this big miniature does. I don't know what this guy does. My understanding of it from back when I watched this was that you lost if they summoned it. Your whole purpose was to not summon the old ones. So is this just a first player token? I don't know. Maybe they added a method where he can be summoned and you can still kill him like a death may die kind of thing. I have no clue, because even once they did add a rulebook, it was a quick Word document, partial rulebook. And first of all, it boggles my mind that if you have a game, you must have rules written down somewhere. Or you just, and they had like printed miniatures that were painted and everything, and they were painted really well, and it was super pretty. And it really bothered me. They had all these renders and all this art and all this stuff, but then like no game. It's like, where's the game? You can't just show pretty things to me and assume I'm going to back it off of faith. And then of course they're really late and they're still working on the rule book. So guess I was right. And of course the final rule book was made in September and it was due in October. So maybe you should make a game and then try and sell a game and not just make an idea and try to sell an idea and make the game later. Maybe you should try that. Make games, not pretty art renders and miniature paintings and ideas, I guess. I don't know. So let's go ahead and look at this though. So they're definitely making it. I'm not saying you're not going to get it. Obviously, those are pretty, by the way. I really like those purple ones. That's cool. That makes me kind of dizzy. That looks weird. So anyway, yeah, they're making it. This white space. No, why? We got some cards here, and 2 minis here. Look at this thing. Look at do you see a space for that? Where am I going to put that? Where are people supposed to put these expansions with these 2 characters and all this space? That's dumb. So annoying. And you couldn't put stuff like behind them? Like, why is it all laid out like that? This could all be stacked on top of each other. Yeah, that doesn't get it. Anyway, dice are pretty. I like dice. Yeah, everything looks nice. Looks like they're making stuff, which is great. Again, I still have no idea how this guy's used in the game, but I'm sure they added those rules at some point. I don't know if it was during or after, but it is nice that they are actually making it and all that. What's great is that even still, no delivery update. Instead, it's, hey, we'll finally have the rulebook done next time and delivery timelines. The problem is, what is next time? When you are randomly doing updates, not even every month, and you're way behind, when's the next update? When is next time? Is next time December? Are you doing one a month? Is next time 2021? Is next time February? When's next time? Again, like, respect backers to the point where, like, have a general time, like, hey, I will make an update, and if you can't commit to an update, then I'm sorry, but you're pathetic. Commit to sitting down and writing an update. If I can lose sleep to make this stupid video, you can lose sleep to write an update for a game that you sold for money to people. You're making a product. I release these videos for free and I can spend the time. Write an update. Say, I will make an update next month. There might be no information, there might be information, but either way, I will let you know at that time so that you know, because we have respect for you, the backer. Anyway, there's been kind of an influx of this, and I get kind of annoyed by just the lack of effort some companies take when it comes to showing us the game and selling us a game and then following up after they take our money. So often, they take our money and then it's just crap. So often, the moment the campaign's done, they won't touch it again until they launch another one. Because it will be before they deliver that game. Even if it's a second late pledge campaign crap that they're doing. Have some respect for your backers, and you will be amazed what that'll do for you. Freedom 5 has 7 more days. 464,000. I forgot I added this last minute. It's doing great. It's super colorful. Well-liked game. Seems to be doing good stuff. Not my style of game, and that tends to be the superhero game stuff. I was pointed towards some that have like a combat, and that I think that looked super cool. But this one, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it looks nice. However, this one, Kapow, this one I like, just because it's not the same city map you're going over. Now, I know somebody mentioned Guardian Chronicles by the Red Joker who did Oko Chronicles. I love the Chronicles system. It's a great card miniature-based combat style thing, much different than any dungeon crawler, and I would have loved to have the superhero version. Sadly, I wasn't on Kickstarter, wasn't doing YouTube stuff, wasn't in board gaming at the time, so I missed it. However, I think they should totally do a reprint, kind of update the miniatures to their normal quality and stuff like that. I would be all over that. I think it'd be great. But this is the next best thing. So this is kind of a dice building combat game. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and hopefully it's not making sound or anything. Okay. So anyway, essentially you were behind a screen and you can actually put the faces, you know, when you cheat in Rubik's Cubes like that, you put the faces on the dice and then you roll them. I think this is just showing like people, which is a little bit more boring. Yes, it is. Okay. So, here we go. So this is kind of the whole, you know, build your dice as kind of a dice building game, and then you roll them behind, and then it looks like you probably assign those or are able to do different blows and kind of fight each other based off that, which I think is super cool. So it's definitely unique and different, and the theme I still like because I love miniature, or I love superheroes, and so I think that's great. So I will link down to this obviously below, and you can kind of follow along. That's a Kapow. Looks kind of interesting. Now, I talked a lot about games that are coming out in 2021. And there was a lot of games we predicted were going to come out this year that didn't. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that coming next month, I will be doing my 2021 upcoming Kickstarters video. If you don't know what this is, it is a huge video where I go in detail and show you all the stuff that's coming up that I'm aware of in 2021. It's a great way to lose money. Here's my last one showing, you know, Hell from way back again in 2019. I was showing Sankokushin way back then. I was showing Kingdoms Forlorn way back then. I was showing all these things that we've come to see. You know, here's ISS Vanguard. I was showing all that. Even like I was showing like Celestial stuff, which didn't end up coming out this year, so it'll be coming out. Was it Tebaru? What was this junk? Yeah, Tebaru that with the Zombicide Evolved that was going to come out. Who knows if that's still a thing or not. Call of the Void, that's still MIA from Archon. So there's still stuff coming out. This is Mythic Battles Ragnarok. That's still to come. That'll be coming up here soon on Kickstarter. Anyway, it'll be huge. It'll be just like this, where it'll show all sorts of stuff that's coming up that I'm aware of. It'll be in 2021 or beyond. There's Shield over there. There's Frostborn and all sorts of other cool stuff. So anyway, it'll be a big video. If you haven't subscribed, you're going to want to be able to see that. Seriously, it is a very popular and very useful video for you guys. It takes a lot of time, but I think it's well worth it. I've already started compiling it and looking up, researching, asking questions, all that stuff. It's going to be big. So looking forward to that. Wanted to plug that before I go. But that's it. I am going to go now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the update. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful, entertaining, or some good background noise. You know who you are. So anyway, again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.